is it yet to come? What are your thoughts tonight?
Yeah, I think it's a future prediction, and I think we're seeing the beginning of it right now. I think that's why this is so important.
Why do some theologians think that it has already been fulfilled? Why do they think that?
Well, Damascus obviously has been attacked before and rebuilt, but the Bible prediction is that it will no longer exist. It won't be a place where people exist. Instead, it'll be a land for animals. The territory will be for animals, indicating that humans don't live there. Obviously, humans are living there, so this prophecy can't be fulfilled to its completion. I think that one of the reasons why it may not be inhabitable by people might be because of the chemical weapons that are there. All of us know that in Damascus there's a stronghold of chemical weapons. I know tonight before we went on the air, people in Israel are telling me that they hear that IDF is 20 kilometers away from Damascus, and they have serious business to conduct, and that, of course, is to eliminate as much as they can. But if that
well, look at that. Speaking just backing you up, Israel struck Syrian chemical weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's the fear. I think there's another thing that's interesting to show you how you just can't trust what comes out of their mouth. Assad comes out today, and Russia says Russia and Assad have agreed to a peaceful transition in the government. Have we watched a peaceful transition in the last 24 hours? So it's almost like Biden. He comes on and he says, I'm claiming victory in the Middle East. You know, he said, I brought more peace there than, they think we're so stupid that we cannot see that this is a catastrophe. I agree, there's nothing worse than a religious form of a dictatorship, because they're going to persecute people that don't agree with them. And that's what's being established. I really hope God gives wisdom to the United States. Let's back Israel, but let's not back a regime that we don't know what it stands for at all. And my prayer is that we'll stay out of the fight. We'll support Israel. We know where Israel stands. Let's let people that live there in that area do the decision about who survives. I think another thing that's very, very critical is one of the pictures I sent you. It shows Netanyahu as he proclaims ownership on Mount Hermon. I've been to Israel many times. I've seen Mount Hermon. I've never been on top of it. Tonight, they have an Israeli flag on top of Mount Hermon. The vantage point from Mount Hermon is fantastic. From there, you can see into Lebanon. You can see into Syria. You can see into Israel. You can see into Iraq. I mean, what a vantage point it is. It's also important because Israel has three sources of pure water. An important source, one of the important sources is Mount Hermon and the snow. And there's always been the fear that the water that comes off of Mount Hermon could be contaminated. Why? Because it runs through the chemical area that we know if proper people aren't in control, they could poison every bit of that water. And water is so precious. Water is as precious as oil there. And so I think that the vantage point and the source of water make this buffer zone so important. And so these are things that...
And then you sent me this picture here. You sent me this picture of the pipeline.
Yes. Wow. See how Syria... The reason why Russia liked Syria, it wasn't because they loved the people. It wasn't even because they liked Assad. Assad was so weak he needed to be propped up. So Russia said, okay, we'll prop you up. But what Russia wanted was a way to the sea. And you can see that they have that. And so this critical position of Syria. But isn't it interesting that in Ezekiel chapter 38 and 39, there's no mention of Syria. It appears as Syria has been destroyed. I think that that's an important point to make, because the buffer zone that was separating, let's say, Turkey and Russia to Israel, Iran and Russia to Israel, these, both Lebanon and Syria, are being dissolved. Now, because Syria is not mentioned in that concluding chapter of Ezekiel 38 and 39, I really think that that's part of this whole thing of seeing Damascus destroyed. Damascus is the lost holdout. If they take Damascus, and they will, I think by morning, I think the rebels will have control. And so this is a biblical point, and it's interesting to me that Erdogan and Turkey, this afternoon, he came out with a statement saying, there's only two leaders left in the Middle East, me and Putin. Now, what kind of a statement is that? I mean, but you see how they're thinking. They're in their mind, they see Syria gone, they see Lebanon almost gone, and so the border no longer has the cushion that it had before. Iran, Russia are right on the border of Israel. I think that's a biblical importance.
And of course, in closing here, I want to get Colonel Manus to respond to this as well. But Dr. Lindsay, you got Erdogan here of Turkey. He's part of NATO. He wants to rebuild his Ottoman Empire. Donald Trump may tell NATO, go pound sand and pull out. I mean, I think NATO has become absolutely a major tool of the New World Order. I don't see any reason for us to belong to the NATO anymore, certainly not when we're the ones paying the bills. What are your thoughts, though, on Erdogan and how that fits in with Bible prophecy? Dr.
Well,
Lindsay?
we know that, we know that Turkey comes down, and what's interesting to me
when you
is
say
that
they come down, they come down as part of the Ezekiel 38 coalition on Israel.
Yes, that's correct. We watched Erdogan in the last 3 months change sides several times. Whoever looks like they're winning, he's on their side. He also went to Russia to certify his position with Russia. He went to the BRICS meeting. This is you ever see those fish that suck on other fish? He's a sucker fish.
He's a sucker.
And so he talks about how great his power is. He talks about how great his military is. He talks about how great his economy and country is. That is just not true. He's a little puppet, and he's going to do whatever it takes for him to stay in power.
Who's pulling the strings on him, Colonel? Is it China or is it Russia? Who's pulling the strings on Erdogan?
Well, I think it's a combination of China and Russia. But honestly, Erdogan, he stands on his own. Look, he's got the largest army in that part of the world. He knows it. He's got the technology of both the Russians and the United States through his NATO alliance and accessing Russia's S-300, S-400 missile systems. So he thinks he's in the catbird seat. And with the Syrian country essentially dissolving, his path to Israel to go ahead and start that Ottoman conquering trail again is opening up. So I think he's his own man, and I think he's got a set of interests that is Turkey's and that centers around recreating the Ottoman Empire. I think the gas pipeline that go up into Eastern Europe is also part of that effort to re-extend the Ottoman Empire up into Eastern Europe and beyond where it originally made it to. And that is one of the things that he's working on. And he's his own man.